Emmalee and I would just like to thank all of you for blessing us with your prayers, your gifts, and your words of encouragement over the last couple weeks. God knew exactly what we needed, and He used all of you to do it. Emmalee was such a sweet girl from the minute she was born. She hardly even cried. Allie and I can't remember what she sounded like, but hopefully someday we can hear it, but it'll be a joyful cry. In fact, she was just a content little girl. In her short life, she faced 2 major surgeries, one to fix her esophagus and one to fix her heart. Even though she was in pretty rough shape, she would still try her hardest to open her eyes when we'd talk to her. Her eyes were so beautiful and so full of hope. We loved being able to be with her, and when she'd open them. On the day we knew we'd have to make the decision, we still prayed for a miracle that our little Emmalee would be healed. But we also prayed that if not, God would make it clear to us that it was time for us to let her go be with Him. On that day, we got the news that her condition had in fact not gotten better, but actually much, much worse. So with our family all around us and around her, and we all said our goodbyes and gave her lots of kisses. Allie and I both looked at each other at the same time, and we said, it's time. I got to hold her when they turned off the machine. I literally felt her leave my arms and go into her Father's arms in heaven. The good news in all this is that we can be confident in the fact that we will see her again, because Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." That was Matthew 19:14. And we didn't hinder Emmalee. She's now completely healed and running and dancing around heaven. And because Allie and I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, we've received the promise of heaven and will be with Emmalee again. But for now, I'm going to cling to a verse God has given me to get through this time. In James 1:2-4, it says, "Consider it a great joy, my brothers, whenever you experience various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. But endurance must do its complete work, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing." We've heard from so many of you how Emmalee touched your lives. It amazes us to know how God can use such a tiny little baby girl to touch all of us. She was such a gift to us and to all. We just ask one more thing of all of you. In the next few days, we just ask that you would do something special with your kids, and most of all, tell them you love them. And give them lots of hugs and kisses, even if you think they might not like it. And thank you all again for loving us and loving our sweet little Emmalee.
For John and Allie, it was the 14th day that Emma died. And in some sense, John and Allie, your life has now been transformed into a journey to reunion with Emmalee. And so for your parents and those that love you, who look forward to seeing Emmalee again, for all of us, in some sense, our lives are intended to be a journey to eternity. And the words of the prophet Isaiah echo down through the centuries to all of us, a child shall lead them. Your lives are a journey to reunion. As the great divine irony is played out, you wanted so much to lead Emmalee through this life. To diaper her, to bathe her, to take care of her, to put a Band-Aid on that first skinned knee, to watch her grow and mature as a young lady, to punch out the first guy who looked too long at her, to walk her down the aisle. You wanted desperately to lead her, and now God says to you, follow Emmalee. You wanted so much to watch over her through her growing up years, watching the progress, the pencil marks on the door jamb, and the growth and the development, and checking those report cards and all of that. You wanted to watch over her. Now she is complete. And watching over your yet to be fulfilled development. You wanted so much to introduce her one day to Jesus. And now I think she may introduce you. The email on Wednesday, April 23rd said, at noon today, Emmalee Ann Pearl Feldman passed away. Earth is crying, but heaven is rejoicing. We had a beautiful time of saying goodbye to our precious Emma before they disconnected the ECMO machine. Allie and John read her favorite book one more time, God Gave Me to You. God Gave Me You. I talk about her condition some, and then Grandma writes, I'll write more later. My heart's a little broken right now, but I wanted to thank you again for your concerns and prayers for our Emma. She is so at peace and resting now with no tubes. Oh, it's beautiful to see her with no tubes in her mouth. Currently, they're stitching up her chest, and we'll wrap her up for all of us to be able to hold her for the first and last time. And I know you mean last time on earth. Because you will hold her again. And I hope that indeed she will have the privilege of introducing you one day to Jesus. Your hearts are empty, and you are grieved at the loss, and yet I know you have great joy and anticipation as your life now has become a journey to reunion with Emma and with your Savior.